Hello, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Rachel. In today's reading vlog, we're going to be working our way through my November TBR. I'm going to be reading 3 fantasy books and sharing all my thoughts with you guys. I also read a book that I have been putting off for a very long time, a book that has really intimidated me. We finally get to it in this vlog. So let me show you the books that I read in today's vlog. Number 1 is going to be City of Lost Souls. This is the 5th book in the Mortal Instruments series. Every Spiral of Fate by Tahara Mafi. This is the 4th book in the This Woven Kingdom series. And then I read The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. I am coming to you after I've already finished the vlog, so let's go back to past Rachel and start this reading vlog where I work through my November TBR. Hi friends, so I am on page 250 of City of Lost Souls by Cassandra Clare, book 5 in the Mortal Instruments series. It is so good to be back in this world. Oh my god, I did not realize how much I miss it. I feel like every single time I pick up a book in this series, I'm like reminded about how good it is. I always go in thinking it's just gonna be like, okay, whatever, but no, it pulls me right back in immediately. I have just been like, oh my god, I love these characters so much. I miss them. I feel so parasocial with these fictional characters. Like, I want to be in the friend group. I want to be with them. I want to be running around New York City with them. Like, oh my god, this is just so good. The way that Cassandra Clare writes this friendship group, writes all of these different dynamics, it is so specific. There's so much attention to detail. Everyone has like a very different relationship with one another, and I feel like she puts so much thought into, well, these two characters are close, but that character has issues with that character, but then this one is friends with that one, so that creates tension, and this character has a history with that character, and just like there is so much there. There is so much interwoven between all of them. It feels very fully realized, very well rounded out. And that is my absolute favorite thing about this series is the characters. Like, they are just amazing. They are also different. They are also well defined. Isabel and Simon, Clary, Jace, Maya, Jordan, Magnus, Alec. Oh my god, just all of them are spectacular. I'm so happy to be back reading this. I'm so happy that I ended up picking this up for my November TBR. It really just makes me want to dive headfirst back into the Shadowhunter world because, like I said, just picking this up, it just immediately made me go, oh yeah, wait, I love this series. I love Cassandra Clare's writing. Even if the first half of the series was a little bit bumpy, shall we say, I still had a lot of fun with it, and I'm still having a lot of fun with this. This isn't like totally perfect, but like, I don't even care because I kind of feel like it is perfect in a YA fantasy 2010s type of way. 250 pages in, really loving it. I am 46% of the way done. There are so many problems, so many huge problems. The biggest conflict of this book, I obviously can't say what it is, but if you've read this book, you know. How are we fixing that? Like, actually, how are we fixing that? I feel like I am so good at predicting how things are going to end. What are we gonna do? I got nothing. I got absolutely nothing for the main conflict of this book, and I love that. I love seeing how Cassandra Clare's mind works and just slowly unraveling how this plot is going to go. Just like the balance of moving the plot forward, building on the lore, but then also kind of developing these characters' relationships more and more is just so well done. I just have so much love and respect for the series, honestly. It just like means the world to me. And like, any criticism that you have about it, I'd probably be like, you know what, that's valid. It is cringy. There is a crazy storyline in the first half of the series, but at the same time, I'm having a good time. Okay, you know what? It's just good, clean fun for me at this point. I'm just gonna keep reading and hopefully I'll continue to have a good time, and I will keep you guys updated on my thoughts. All right, I just finished City of Lost Souls. It was so good. It was so good. Oh my god. I had so much fun with this book. It was such a ride. I love this world to death. I love the way that Cassandra Clare writes characters and romance and relationships and just everything I thought was so well done. I am so intrigued for the final book. I can't believe I'm going to be reading the final book in the Mortal Instruments series. I would really like to do that before the year is up. I think that this book has set it up in such a good way. We have the highest of high stakes, oh my god, and then we also have a lot of like relationships on the line, friendships being tested. It really seems like we just have a lot of ground to cover in the final book. I like how we have all of these little threads that all connect, but are then also very significant on their own as well. I just feel like the final book is going to be so crazy and emotional, honestly. I could see myself crying in the final book of the Mortal Instruments series. Shocker to no one. This is definitely one of my favorite books in the series. The book before this, I think, was City of Fallen Angels, I want to say. I really liked that. That was my first 4-star in the series, and I'm also going to give this a 4-star. It's not a 5-star. It's a really strong 4-star though. I think that it's just missing that extra oomph that gets it up to a 5-star. I can't explain it. I did really enjoy it though, and I would totally recommend this series. I think it is so great. Really well done. YA fantasy. Cassandra Clare's character work is so great. I feel like it is so specific to her. I feel like the characters are well-rounded. They are flawed. I think that the pacing between different character stories, it's so great, and it just keeps you really entertained, even though these books are really long. And oh my god, the chapters of Cassandra Clare's books are really long. That's not really like a critique, or like it is, but like, is that something I'm really gonna harp on? Like, no, but her chapters are so long, oh my god. But still, she does switch POVs within chapters, which I appreciate, so it doesn't feel like, oh my god, we've been in Clary's head for a million pages and I need to get out of it. But yeah, The City of Lost Souls was so good. 4 stars, and so excited to go on to the 5th book. Okay, the next book from my November TBR that I want to read this week is Every Spiral of Fate by Tahara Mafi. I am so ready, but I am also not ready at all. And that is a perfect place to be mentally when you are starting a book in a fantasy series, truly. This is another YA fantasy. We're having a bit of a YA fantasy moment, but this, like, I don't know, it doesn't feel like super mature and adult, but it also doesn't feel super young. I feel like it just sits very comfortably where it's at, and I don't find myself like rolling my eyes and being like, oh my god, you're so YA to these characters. We are at a crazy place in the series, particularly with the characters. This is definitely a character-driven series. I feel like not a whole lot has actually happened plot-wise in the series thus far, but like things have happened, and a lot of it just exists through the character dynamics, and a lot of the fate of what's going to happen with this world exists within the character dynamics in the romantic relationship. So like, have things happened? No, but also yes, they are, and I can see the pieces being put together. So I say that just because I don't want to turn anyone off to like saying, oh, nothing happens in the series. Things do happen. It's just in a very specific way to these characters. And the characters, I mean, they are just so amazing, so lovable. I absolutely love every single character in this book. They are just like so tortured and emotional and romantic, and the writing is beautiful and the world is rich, and it's just a very wonderful series. So book 4 of the This Woven Kingdom series is going to be starting this today, and I'm nervous, but I'm really excited. The cover has me nervous, okay? That I'm anticipating a lot, but I also think I'm gonna get my heart ripped out a little bit because of reasons. So I'm gonna get into this and I'll let you guys know my thoughts. Alrighty friends, so I am on page 195 of Every Spiral of Fate, getting close to the 50% mark. Oh my goodness. Okay, the first part of this book was so intense emotionally and romantically, and the yearning and the pining and the pain. There is this really intense romantic dynamic of 2 characters who can barely like stand to be in the same room with each other, and they have good reason. There are things that are causing tension between them, negative tension, not like sexy tension, but also there's sexy tension as well. We really have it all in this series, and the pain that these characters feel just even breathing the same air, because they are equal parts so frustrated with their predicament and where things are going seemingly for the 2 of them, but then also they are like trying to hold themselves back from just like even a brush of the arm. A brush of the arm is too much for these 2. It is so good. They are so fun to just like witness being absolutely ridiculous with one another, and they're so sad and so tortured, and oh my god, the way that Tahara Mafi writes it, it is just delicious. The most delicious painful tension between these 2 characters, and also the humor. Every single time I pick up a book in the series, I know I am in for a good time, also a painful time, also a tension-filled, rough, I don't really know how things are going to turn out for any one time, but we're always going to have a few laughs. The found family in this book is so great. Miss Huda. Miss Huda is amazing. She is so ridiculous. She just completely like takes the situation where some of our characters are more stressed out and taking things really seriously, and she will just say the funniest thing and just like spin things on its head. All right, one of my favorite things in a fantasy series is happening in this book. We're going on a quest. We are going on a quest, you guys. As soon as I started to realize what was happening, as soon as I started to realize all of our characters are banding together and going on a journey for a specific purpose, I was like, let's go. Let's go. Give me a quest in a fantasy book with tension-filled, will they, won't they characters. I am so there. I am so excited to see how this plays out. We have started the quest, don't really know where it's going to end up, but I'm so ready for this, and I feel like it's going to be absolute torture for our characters, and I am so excited to be witness to that. So Every Spiral of Fate is going great so far. I might finish this today. I'm going to do reading sprints tonight with my patrons. I tend to read the books in this series just like in one sitting because it's so addicting. We do have like a very beautiful world here, and the magic system I think is well explained, but it's never too dense, and I don't think it's info dumpy at all. So I feel like these are just great fantasies to like fly through. And I think because of the character dynamics and just how like you can cut the tension with a knife, like you just don't want to put it down. You just have to see like, okay, are we going to get anywhere with these characters? Are we going to find any type of solution to the big glaring elephant in the room problem that these characters are experiencing? It's truly stunning. I'm so happy to be in this world and excited about this book so far. So it's going really well. I'm really liking it. I'll keep you guys updated. Hello friends, how are we? I am coming to you after finishing Every Spiral of Fate and then starting my final book for this vlog. So we have quite a bit to catch up on. It's been a few days since I've been able to pick up the camera because work has been working. Okay, so I'm finally able to sit down and catch you guys up on my reading this week. So like I said, I finished Every Spiral of Fate. Oh my gosh, this was great. It's a 4-star. I really, really loved it. Love the characters. Cyrus is just like everything. He is really at quite an interesting place in this book. I mean, he's kind of at an interesting place in the entire series, but his mentality in this book was really intriguing, and I loved the like adventure kind of quest aspect of this installment. It has me so excited for the final book. I do think though, not a lot happens. Like the plot is not super, super robust, and I would say that this book, I like noticed it the most. In the other books, there isn't as much going on, but I think because there's like so much character development happening and like things are very new and exciting and fresh and we're kind of slowly uncovering these pieces, I didn't mind, or I didn't really pay attention to it as much. In this book, I did definitely feel that feeling of like, okay, like let's get there, let's get to the point, let's get to this plot line, let's see this thing that we've been building up to, how is it actually going to play out, what is it going to look like? I think I felt that the most in this book, but I still really loved it. The writing was really fantastic and the characters are fantastic, and I'm just so invested in them and their journey. So it wasn't like a huge disappointment, but this might be like my least favorite installment in the series, but once again, I gave it 4 stars, which is an amazing rating. Okay, so moving on to my next read for this vlog. It is a little book called The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. I'm finally reading The Name of the Wind, you guys. Oh my god, I've put this on so many TBRs. I've wanted to read it so many times. I just haven't picked it up. I either was intimidated by it, or I was like, maybe I'm not in the right mindset for this, and I just put it off and put it off, but I knew I wanted to read it before 2025 was over, so here we are in November, really last minute here, including this in for this year's reads. Really happy that I finally picked this up. So I am on page 338. So I'm really close to the halfway mark. If you don't know what this book is about, we are following Voth. He's our main character, and he's basically like the most notorious wizard in this world, and he tells his story to someone. He tells his story from the very, very beginning to what I assume will be the end. I don't know if we're gonna get that all in this book or that's gonna be in the next book. I know that this is an unfinished trilogy and there's no end in sight, so I really don't know how much of his story we're going to get, but we are focusing a lot on his youth in this book. Currently where I'm at, he is at university, and we did get his background into his childhood. So like I said, I'm close to the 50% mark, and I've been enjoying myself. It's been fun to see all these little adventures that he went on and like why he is the way that he is. I feel like we are slowly peeling back this character and just learning little things about him as we go on. There's been tons and tons of detail. We really spend a long time of when he was a kid, and then some events that happened and how that took him here, and then now he's at a university and the challenges he's facing there. So there is a lot of description, there is a lot of focus on that, and I'm enjoying it. I like the humor in this book, and I'm definitely like invested in his story, but just I always want to be like very real and genuine with you guys. I'm not loving this as much as I thought I would. I thought that this was going to give me that kind of immediate 5-star feeling. And typically anytime I give a book a 5-star, I can usually tell pretty early on that it's going to be a 5-star. I feel like when you read a book that is just like so transformative, so life-changing, just so good that you're like, oh, this is gonna be one of my new favorite books ever. You just know, you just have that inkling. And this book isn't really giving me that feeling. It's good, I'm enjoying it, and I can definitely see why a different reader would really like this and really connect to it. I'm enjoying myself, but I'm not super obsessed. Like, I don't think that this is gonna be one of my best books of the year. I don't think this is gonna be a book that I don't know. I am not fully connected to it. I'm liking it. I'm enjoying getting all these little details about Vought's life, but I don't think that I'm like, oh my God, this is incredible, greatest book of all time. And I do wonder if I set myself up too much because I have put this book on such a pedestal. And also I just see so many people saying it's like one of their favorite books of all time, and it's like a 6-star read, and it's just so great, and it's one of the greatest fantasy novels of the 21st century and all of that. So that's a lot to live up to. Maybe I thought it up too much in my head, and so I'm a little bit disappointed, and maybe my expectations aren't being exactly met. I am still enjoying it. I don't want to sound like I'm like not liking it, because I definitely am, but it's not hitting me in the way that I had hoped it would. I do think some of that is the pacing. Things do move at a glacial pace sometimes, and sometimes it's really interesting and we're getting a lot of things happening, and then other times it's like, okay, we're kind of like meandering through this story. I think it just kind of depends on who you are as a reader if you're going to connect with that, and every author's writing is so different and so subjective, so it's really just going to depend on how that hits you. I am hopeful that I will finish this today or tomorrow. I'm really curious where it's going to end, like in his life, where it's going to end up. So yeah, I'll keep you guys posted on my thoughts with The Name of the Wind. Good morning, friends. How are we doing? I finished The Name of the Wind last night. I powered through this book. I read quite a bit in this last chunk, and I feel all right about this book. I thought it was good, but not great. I think the biggest issue for me was a lot of scenes were just dragged out. Sometimes I felt the scenes really captured my attention and I was really into them. Particularly, I did really like the university sections. I thought that was really great. There are some very dramatic events that occur towards the end here that definitely captured my attention, but it was not consistent. Consistency is really important to me in a book, and I just didn't find myself gripped in the way that I wanted to be. I wanted to fall so deeply headfirst into The Name of the Wind, and that never really happened. I think I'm gonna go with a 3-star rating for this book. I slept on it and thought about it, and I don't think I'm going to continue on with book 2. Of course, book 3 has never been published, and I don't think it is ever going to be published. It seems like this trilogy is doomed to remain unfinished. So reading on with the second book might be kind of pointless anyway if we're not going to get an ending, but I did, before I picked this up, I figured I would go and pick up the second book and continue on with the story, but this was just not for me, and I am really disappointed by that. 3 stars is still like a good rating to me, but because I went in with such high expectations, and I honestly don't think I have ever seen a rating below like a 4.5 for this book. Like, everyone loves it, and so I don't know what is not clicking for me, like why I did not find this book to be overly entertaining, but it was just all right. And it could be a combination of me putting it too much on a pedestal, but I also just really feel after sitting with this book that I just found the pacing to be so inconsistent, and it did drag for me. I just wasn't really interested in the story all the time, and the storytelling components didn't work for me 100% of this book. So yeah, I'm sad, but I'm giving it 3 stars. I do think it is well written, and I can totally see the merit in this. I don't think this is a bad book by any means, but just from my perspective, not a book that worked for me, not a book that excited me, not a book that I felt a whole lot of emotional connection to. I didn't really find myself connecting super well with our main character either. There were moments, and there's a lot of like funny, great moments, particularly with him and his friends. I really liked their dynamic. Just not a character that left a big imprint on my heart. So The Name of the Wind, I'm giving it 3 stars. I can't believe I just said that. One thing I am happy about is I have been wanting to read this book for such a long time. I've had this book for years, and it's good to find out whether whether the result is good or bad, I'm happy that I read this. And that brings us to the end of this reading vlog. Let me know what you think of these books that I read. If you have read, I'm sure a lot of you have read The Mortal Instruments, how do you feel about the latter half of the series? Also very curious, what do you think of the finale? No spoilers because I haven't read it yet, but I'd love to know if you're satisfied by the ending of The Mortal Instruments or how it left you feeling. Also would love to hear your thoughts on The Name of the Wind. I know so many people love it. I don't happen to be one of those people, but I think it is a book that is really celebrated for a reason. It just didn't click for me, but I would love to hear how it clicked for you. Or if there's anyone out there who also just felt kind of like, good, not great about The Name of the Wind. Hi, should we be friends? Should we enter witness protection together? Because it seems to be a pretty rare opinion to not fall in love with this book. Or if you wanted to leave an emoji to let me know that you made it to this point, let's go ahead and leave the dragon emoji and then the ring emoji. Please make sure that you're following me on all of my social media. My Instagram, my TikTok, and my Goodreads are all linked down below. I also have a Patreon. That is where I host my book club. I post bonus videos there. We do reading sprints there. We're also currently doing a series read-along of Amber V. Nicole's Gods and Monsters series, and it's just a really, really great, fun community of fantasy romance readers if you'd like to join. I really appreciate that you watched today's video. I hope that you're having a fantastic day. I love you all so much, and I will catch you guys in the next one.